Hey guys, it's Kat. Let's talk about Dissipate by Brittany Taylor. Now, it's my understanding that when Brittany released this book, it's actually a novella, I was lucky enough to be one of the only people to read it before it was released. That being said, I already love Brittany's writing, so to be able to be one of those people that got an advanced reader copy and read it before it came out, I was super excited about and felt very honored to be able to do that. So I had planned to film this video when I read it a couple weeks ago and then have it ready for release date, which was about a week and a half ago. But unfortunately life got in the way, and so I'm filming it today. So it's coming up after the release, but it doesn't really matter, right? So Dissipate is Brittany's fourth book. Like I said, it's a novella, so it's a bit shorter. I have read her previous three books. They are called Without You, Without Me, and then Back to Me. Dissipate takes place before Back to Me. I want to talk a little bit about those books and then talk about Dissipate, because I feel like to get the full scope of Brittany's writing and to understand Julian and Back to Me, you need to read Dissipate. So they're all kind of wound together, and so I want to talk about those three as well. So it's actually four books that I'm going to talk about today. In any case, so Without You, sometimes I flip those two. Without You is a really great story about Em and Cam. I really felt like poor Emmeline. I think that's what her name is. Em. He always calls her Em. Everyone always calls her Em. I really felt like Em, I just connected to her immediately when I read that book. She had kind of a hard life and was really a soulful young woman and really in her head a lot, and had been knocked down, through tragedy and such in her life. And I really connected. And in the best way, I kept thinking to myself as I was reading it, was like, this poor girl. And when I say the best way, it's because you really feel for her, and you understand her, you know her through Brittany's writing, and you want the best for her. And so knowing that, and then knowing what she goes through, and it's a young love story, and the book kind of starts out with her first love boyfriend, who she thought was going to be her partner, and she needs a partner in life, breaks up with her. And kind of, his name is Ben. I didn't like him because of that. He broke her heart. So, then the story goes on, and it's about, how she kind of picks herself up, and, she's kind of a lost soul. She's got her brother, who she's pretty close with, and she's got her best friend Sarah, but that's it. The parental situation is, her mom died, her grandmother died. She doesn't really know, she's with her dad, but she doesn't really know him. She's just kind of lost, sweet Em. And so then she meets Cam, and she's gun shy, and she, doesn't know if she can trust to love again. And Cam is wonderful. I liked Cam from the get-go. His personality just fit everything that I love about male characters. And so I really rooted for them. So the second, that Without You is told from Em's perspective. So then the next book is called Without Me, and it's told from Cam's perspective, which, because I like Cam so much, I was super excited that we got all of him, and we really got to know him and all his thoughts, and you realize that he's had just as much of a hard time as Em has, and he has this vulnerability that you see, and I just love the way he was with her, and he was gentle with her because he understood that she was sensitive, and not necessarily trusting, and that she had her heart broken, but he understood that, and he was going to push through, and he was going to love her the way she deserved to be loved. And I just adored Cam. I put him right up there on the top of the list of my book boyfriends. He was really wonderful. So I loved getting the book from his perspective. But yet, we wouldn't have a love story and a good book without some drama. And so, something else that I really liked about the book was that there's kind of this point where their relationship is up in the air, and Cam doesn't know if he wants, I don't want to give it away, but there's an end date kind of to their relationship, and they both know it's coming, but they both go into it because they can't help it. They fall in love, and it turns out that he's going to go into the military. So it's not necessarily an end date, but he had signed up, and then he met her, and I really am, and Brittany knows this because I've talked to her about this, is that I really think that people that serve our country are really special, and that I understand as a citizen of this country that it's not just them that serve, it's their families as well. So I understood all that, and I felt all that really deeply. And I thought that, Brittany really did a great job of having part of Cam's personality that she wrote be this protector and this, guy that felt really strongly about going and serving his country, and, feeling like that's what he wanted to do. And I really liked that part. It really spoke to me. And so then you get, after that book is finished, then you get Back to Me, which is about Graham and Sarah. Sarah is M's best friend, and Graham is her brother. So you've met them in the previous books, and Sarah is a hoot. I really liked Sarah. She's kind of the yin to M's yang. She's kind of feisty and and M's kind of sweet and sensitive, and Sarah's is kind of feisty, go-getter type girl. And you realize in Without You that there seems to be something going on. And I picked up on that, and I kind of crossed my fingers a little bit because I thought that was a good story, and I really liked the characters. And so, lo and behold, you get Back to Me, and it's their story. Graham, I really liked. So the thing about Back to Me, which made it different, is they're friends. So it's a friends to lovers type story, and I loved that part, that kind of angsty part of them being friends, and they're actually living together as friends, but yet you get all this internal dialogue that you get from both of their perspectives about how they're totally in love with each other, but each one is kind of afraid to make the first move. And I loved that. And I've talked before about angsty books, and they're not my favorite, but I do love a little angst and a little drama, and this has got it. Back to Me has got it, because it's that whole, when are they finally going to get together? There was so many things that I could have written down from all 4 of these books. I usually like to highlight my favorite passages, and this video would be an hour long because there was so much to each of these stories that I don't think I have enough time to talk about all of it. But the main reason that I'm doing this background for you is because in Dissipate, you get yet another level and another layer of this other person, and that's Julian. So Julian, you meet in Back to Me. Right away, you know that there's something a little off about him. And the first time he meets Sarah, it's like, she needs this. She's kind of ready to be like, Graham doesn't want to be more than friends. I've tried to do things to make him notice me, but he doesn't seem to really care. Well, on the other end, that he's just trying not to ruin their friendship, and he really wants her, but he doesn't know if she wants him. And anyway, So she meets Julian and she thinks, well, he's interested in me. Like, maybe I should just go out with him. But then they have an interaction after they have a drink together where you're like, whoa, okay, this guy's a little crazy. So that being said, Dissipate is about his life before that. So back to me is Julian. It's Graham and Sarah with Julian, and Julian kind of wants Sarah, and you get these little morsels and these tidbits of information with him, and something's not right. And I, as the reader, found that equally as intriguing as their friends to lovers story. And I kind of hoped that we would get a little more about him as I was reading it. And then to find out that she wrote Dissipate was super exciting. He's so creepy. I have read some books with some main characters that I didn't like them. I talked about how there's certain male main characters that I really like and what speaks to me as a reader and what I like about the romance genre. And there's been a couple that I'm like, ugh, I just don't like him. They're just jerks, or, T.L. Swan referred to one of the main characters in one of her books as a alpha hole, which I thought was really funny. But Julian he's just like a conundrum, because it's like he's just creepy enough that you're like, well, no, that's not so bad. And then you're like, oh no, that's really bad. And that she wrote him so well, because he just like gives me the creeps. I keep saying creepy, and I said that to her a bunch of times. He's so creepy, but so good. She did such a good job. Violence is like, at first you're like, okay, is he really creepy? And you're like, yeah, he's pretty creepy. And then he does things that's like, oh, okay, well, that's just being a nice boyfriend. And then it's like, oh, no, that's not just being a nice boyfriend. That's being a stalker. So something that you also get with him is he's not like he's not outwardly violent. He's outwardly a creeper. But that there's this violence to him that simmers just under the surface. And I feel like when Brittany was writing him in Back to Me, and he did have kind of a rough interaction with Sarah that, if that would have happened to me in real life, I would have done the same thing she did and, gotten the heck out of there. But he just, in Dissipate, it's just, she did such a good job writing him that you feel it as you're reading it. He's a lot. And I didn't know because it's a novella. I knew it was going to be about him, and it was going to be, kind of the background of him. But when I started reading it, I didn't know where it was going to be, where we were going to get his life. And it turns out that we get his life in his college years. And that when he meets Sarah, that's actually not quite 10 years in the future, maybe about 6 to 8 years in the future. So you get his college life and one of his first girlfriends, who really, I think, he loved in that book. And her name's Lena. And she was interesting, I have to say, that I thought she was completely on board with him. I thought that, she didn't realize there was anything wrong with their relationship. He was a little overprotective. He was a little, he kind of sees everything. He's highly intelligent. But then you start to see in their dialogue, and you hear from his perspective, the manipulation that he goes through with her and how he manipulates her. And I thought that maybe she just was along for the ride, and that's just, but yet it didn't work out with them, and that's why we got Back to Me. But no, there's so much more there. And I was really surprised, because I thought, you know, I didn't know how it was going to end. And, I don't want to give any, spoilers away, spoiler, free review here. But wow, I didn't expect it to go the way it went. And that Julian got a huge favor. But did he? I don't think he's a sociopath. He does not know that there's something wrong with him. He thinks, but I love her, so therefore she should love me, and this is the way she should love me. And when I tell her to wear that dress and be there at 7 o'clock, and we're going to be at this restaurant, and this is what we're going to do, she should just do it, because that's what being in a relationship is. That she should listen to me and she should do as I ask, just like I'm a good boyfriend. I do everything she asks. And it's like, oh, okay, well, she did follow your instruction, but she was like a minute late, or whatever the situation is, So in any case, definitely, if you want to read a book that you get a whole different kind of character. It's not dark. This is not a dark romance, but it's edgy. And Brittany really wrote him so good that if you want to get your, fingers dirty and really learn about this guy and this creepy guy, and you just want something totally different, this is the right book for you. The whole series is really good. I really enjoyed. I liked Without You. I liked Without Me even better. And then Back to Me is like next level. And so then you read Dissipate, and she just brings this whole other quality to her writing. Quality, I don't think that's the right word, because I think she's really good anyway. But it just brings it to a whole other level that when I finished Dissipate, I was like, oh my gosh, I kind of wanted to take a shower. I was kind of glad it was over. It's that good. It leaves you feeling like, whoa. And then, of course, you probably should read them in order, because it tells you how he gets to where how he gets to where he meets Sarah. You don't have to, but then you kind of will know how creepy he is. So it was kind of fun the way we read it, and how she released it was that I already knew what happened in Back to Me. I already knew, without knowing anything about him, just being introduced to him in that story, what he was like. So it was like literally the cherry on top of the sundae to get Dissipate and to learn even more about him. So I hope you like this review. I thought it was so good. I hope you'll check out all of Brittany's books. She is amazing. I will put all of her books down in the description bar. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye.